In today's video, I will take every Hololive English member and put them in the all too famous alignment chart. For those who don't know what an alignment chart is, let me tell you real quick. And I'm taking these definitions one-to-one from the internet, so I don't mess up the definition. The sources are of course linked in the description. What is also linked in the description is my Discord server. If you want to make sure that you don't miss any events of mine, like the Hololive quizzes for example, or just some polls for videos, make sure to join. And also go into role assignment to get pinged for the things you are interested in. An alignment chart is a 3x3 grid that looks at whether something adheres to the rules, respects authority, and benefits other. Its origin is in D&D, and I'm sure you have seen this one before. By the way, if you want to skip the explanation about the different alignment that's coming up, go to the timestamp right here. There are 9 different alignments. There is lawful good, which is usually people with pure intentions and actively try to eliminate evil, also putting themselves into trouble to protect others. They also make sure to always act morally correct, and they also obey laws and rules without any question. Next up is neutral good. These people also try to help others as much as possible, but they recognize unjust laws and are also willing to bend those laws in order to help others. Chaotic good people are willing to break laws, cheat, trick, and lie in order to help others. They don't have a strong moral code as long as it helps others. They are also willing to actively harm unjust people in power. Lawful neutral is a tricky one that even I don't fully understand after researching it. But if you are lawful neutral, that means that you have your conviction and will complete this mission no matter what. They will even make sacrifices if they are necessary to complete their mission. So they are not evil, as the name says, but they will do whatever it takes to complete it. True neutral only acts to guarantee their and their loved ones' survival. For that, they will do non-moral things, but not with good or evil intentions. Rather, just to not get wrecked, basically. Chaotic neutral people like to bend and disobey the law to guarantee their freedom. So rather than doing it for an evil or good sake, they just do it to benefit themselves. They are willing to cause harm, but not for harm's sake, of course. Lawful evil people will do bad things, but they themselves think they're doing good things. They will also not do these things for the sake of causing chaos or anything. They really just believe that they are doing the right thing. So lawful evil people are basically just delusional as frick. Apparently neutral evil are similar to true neutral, just with the difference that they will do much more darker and bloodier things to accomplish their goals. Finally, the chaotic evils, who are just crazy MFs, who actively go out of their way to harm others for their own entertainment. They just evil dudes for the sake of being evil. Now, to accurately put the HoloEN girls into the right alignment, I will take their lore into consideration and determine from their actions we know of where they should go. I will also take their personality into consideration, and for some members where the lore is either not much or not much of an indicator, I will have to only go off the personality. Alright, enough explaining, let's get into it. Kelly might be connected to death and ending people's lives, but I honestly don't think she's doing anything necessarily evil. Now, Reapers usually just take care of deceased people, not really killing them actively. But Kelly herself often talks about how she actively ends people's lives, so it's not that easy to determine where she should go. She for sure isn't evil, because even if she actively kills people, she doesn't do it for the sake of it, but rather because it's her mission to accomplish that. So neutral would probably be the most fitting if it wasn't for one thing. Kelly is now actively saving lives, or she would be saving lives if she wasn't on hiatus. If she can, she will save people from death and not take their souls. And this will land her a place in neutral good for me. Now, Ina did do some world-ending things in the past, but I don't think we can really take that into consideration since it wasn't really her, but rather the Ancient Ones doing it. So I'm gonna disregard that incident. Now, Ina started off as a loyal priestess for the Ancient One. I'm not saying she isn't that anymore, but it did go down, I would say. We have no clue what she did in the past in order to please the gods. If there were many instances of that, we could consider something like lawful evil, but honestly, I don't think she did too much apart from just praying. Since we don't have anything really telling us where to put her, I will this one time take the Enrico animation into consideration, where we can see that Ina goes out of her way to help people move on, presumably after they have died. And that doesn't seem to be a job as well. For me, it seems more like she just stumbled into that task and just went with it. So honestly, I'll go with the same as Kelly here and put her into neutral good. Gaura just seems to be doing whatever she feels like doing. Same as my channel description, lol. Or whatever makes it fun for her. With that being said, I don't see her doing something immoral or unjust in order to accomplish that. Now, we don't really have incidents where Gaura straight up went out of her way to help someone, and I honestly can see her bending the laws in order to accomplish whatever she wants to accomplish. But without harming anyone, of course. So I think chaotic good is probably the most fitting for her. And honestly, I think Ame is in the same boat as Gaura. They both do whatever they want to do, and they probably won't let some silly laws, as they would say it, stop them from doing that. Now, we have incidents where Ame did help Iago to make Coco crash into the Hololive building, but I feel like that more benefited both of them, since Ame got to test her concoctions and time travel powers. So I wouldn't say she did that purely because she's such a nice and pure person. I swear, if there's one commenter claiming that I said that Ame isn't kind, I'll lose it. But yeah, chaotic good seems good for Ame. And to be honest, Kiara strikes me the exact same way. Like, it's obvious that none of these members are gonna end up in straight up evil, but I'm scripting this on the fly, so I haven't done the other members yet, but I'ma make a prediction that a lot of members will land in chaotic good. Now, I gotta mention one thing though. There is a case to be made for lawful neutral here, since I see Kiara doing some questionable stuff in order to make KFP the highest grossing restaurant in the world, even including saboteuring other establishments. So lawful neutral might also fit here. Let's do Fauna, Crony and Bay first, since all we can really work with here for those three is what they are. All three of them are responsible for something. Fauna for nature, Crony for time, and Bay for chaos, I guess, if you really wanna count that as something you have to look after. Now, Crony is straight up lawful neutral. She does what she's supposed to do, and we are not aware of her doing anything else. We have the whole Ame stopwatch thing, but we have no idea how that went down, so I can't really take it into consideration. Fauna is in the same boat. We do have the incident where she restored planet Earth, but that honestly benefits her as much as humanity, and it's probably somewhat part of her job too. Now, based off her personality, I would love to put her into good, but based on what she is and what she has done, I feel like she should go into lawful neutral. Same with Bay. Now, some people might say that chaos is something bad, so the embodiment of chaos has to be evil or something, but chaos is just part of life, like nature and time. And same here, we don't have any incidents of Bay being particularly nice or kind, so same case as the others. Lawful neutral. Now, some might say that Mume should be right with them, but it has been stated that Mume doesn't really care about her duties, which means she doesn't really have a mission to go after or just a task to be doing. Honestly, all we know is that she's just vibing and living life. Now, she does watch and talk to civilization, so I imagine if needed she would help them, but an assumption stays an assumption, so I'll put Mume in true neutral. She's just taking care of herself and chillin'. Iris is trying to deliver hope through music. I would definitely say that's a good thing. And sadly, we don't have much more to go off. We also don't really have any examples of her disobeying or even bending the lore to accomplish those things. So Iris straight up seems like a good person. I also see her going out of the way to fight the unjust and evil. So Iris honestly just goes into lawful good in my opinion. Now it gets a little more interesting, since Advent are technically criminals. Now, maybe not on purpose, but some of them did do things that could be considered questionable. Let's start with Fuaboko, who according to their own statements just got arrested because they were having too much fun. Now, what kind of fun gets you arrested? We don't know, but honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if they were a bit too rough playing with the humans, which is definitely not a good thing. Now again, nothing is confirmed here, but in this case I'm gonna make the assumption that the having fun for Furumoco wasn't really fun for humans, which would mean they would do questionable stuff for their own enjoyment. So honestly, I'm gonna put them into chaotic neutral. Let's get Shiori out of the way. She seeks knowledge, obtained the wrong knowledge, got arrested and broke out. By the way, in some countries of Europe, breaching a prison is not even a crime, so you can take that as you want. But I totally see Shiori do questionable things in order to achieve her goal of obtaining as much knowledge as possible. So, true neutral? Just doing stuff she needs to do to get to her goal, but probably not trying to harm anyone in the process? Now Narissa has the power to make people go mad. What is interesting though is that it has never really been stated that she ever used that power, at least just for the sake of using it. And the gods most likely interfered early before she could really use it, not that she was trying to. For the most part, Narissa just wants to sing for people, not to make them go mad, but just to share her amazing singing skills. So yet again, I don't see any reason to put her into evil or anything. Actually, I want to put her into neutral good. Now this might change depending on how much of a demon she really is, because demons are usually not the nicest, but for Narissa I don't see a reason to put her anywhere else. And this kinda continues with Beidou. Both her being imprisoned and her making people go mad because of her cuteness are not things she can really control or was responsible for. That's just how she is. Good emotions seem to also make her glow even more, meaning she does have a reason to make people happy. Now unlike Narissa, Beidou has been more active with her whole cuteness, affection shenanigans. So she's probably more of a chaotic good than a neutral good. Elizabeth is lawful good, no question. Makes people happy with her singing voice, is the frontliner for justice, probably to protect them, morally right, and also does always obey the law. She also accepts any orders she gets from the higher ups, like overseeing Advent, even though at least 2 of them didn't even deserve to be there. Now Gigi is different. She usually trusts her instincts instead of her brain or authorities, which means if causing damage to property allows her to get her job done better, she will probably do so. She also had done questionable things before for the sake of fun, but overall, being in justice, she of course isn't evil or anything. But just by the way she approaches things, I would say she's more of a chaotic good here. Cece's interesting. As an automaton, she should not even have a mind of her own, since someone programmed her to do a thing. But it's stated that she almost entirely abandoned her duties and is now putting all her time into her hobbies just for the fun of it. I mean, there aren't also any statements made about Cece that she caused any trouble or anything, apart from maybe dozing off in the Justice headquarters and annoying the other Justice members. But it's safe to say that she is still serving justice to some point, but probably does not seek out the evil to stop them or goes out of her way to help random people. I'm still gonna give her lawful good just because she most likely helped a bunch of people and fought a lot of evil back in the day. Finally, Rora, who also doesn't do much these days apart from her hobbies. Dude, what happened to Justice, man? In her debut scene animation, we even see her completely forget about her initial task because of a crane game machine. Also, back in the day, unlike Cecilia, I see Rora being more of a I'll help my team if they need it type, instead of a going out of her way to help others type. So I'll give Rora neutral good instead of lawful good because of that. Alright, that was the video. Can you believe that I originally wanted to do the total of Hololive? That video would have been long as f. Anyways, have a great rest of your day, guys. See ya.